Welcome to the part 4. This is where MATLAB start feeling like the real programming. We were learning their things today. Loop, the while loop and if conditions. These are the tools every MATLAB programmer use every single day. So let's go. Now we open the new, click on live script. Then live script is open. So first of all we see the for loop. A for loop run a block of the code fixed number of times. So watch this. I write down the for is equal to 1 to 5, then display the I, and then I end that loop, and simply I click on this run button. Now you see they show us they print 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5. So in MATLAB went through every value automatically. Instead of I need to be write down display 1, display 2, display 3, display 4, display 5. So it's automatically write down it by running that command for loop. Now that's our code. So now how they work. So first of all they pass I is equal to 1 and then they print the 1, then it's passed to the 2 and then it's print the 2, and in that way they say I is equal to 5 and they print the 5. Okay, so each time when they run it's called the iteration. So this code have the total 5 iterations. If you say I is equal to 1 to 100, then it's mean iterations are 100 this time. Okay, and when this end, when it's reach at the last part it is 5, so at a 5 it is ended, and if there is 10 then at a 10 when they print the 10 then they are ended. Now we type the more examples here. We need to be write down the code by using the for loop which sum the all number from 1 to 10. Okay, for this one first of all we need to be make the one variable, give him a name total, and we assign a 0, the first value. Okay, then we move toward the for loop. We creating a for loop for I is equal to 1 to 10. How much iterations we needed, because we want to be add the 10 numbers, then we need a 10 iterations. Okay, 1 to 10, and then we say that is equal to total. Okay, there's this syntax mistake. Okay, total is equal to total plus I. Okay, and we make the semicolons and then we end it here. Okay, now our for loop is ended, and after that we say that display the total. What's happened, they just display the last iteration. This is the total variable which in the first time I assign a 0. Why I assign a 0? Because I am using it here. If I don't be assign it in the above, then they say that okay, that variable is not assigning what is the value there, they don't know, so there is the error. Okay, so that's why we assign it to the 0, and then we make it in that way. Total is equal to total plus I. So first time I is 1 and then our total is 0, so 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, then our total is 1. In the second iteration I become 2, so 2 so that time total is become 1 plus 2, it's 3. Okay, and then our total is 3. So in that way it's move forward. Now we run it and we see what's our answer. So our answer is 55. Okay, if we want to be see step by step what happening, then just we remove the semicolon and again run it. Now first in the first iteration our total is 1. Okay, in the second iteration our total is 3. In the third iteration total is 6, then 10, then 15, then 21, then 28, then 36, then 45, then 55. Okay, this is very powerful. We just added 1 through 10 automatically. The answer is 55. You can check on your own site. You can also do on your calculation or maybe on paper, and then you find it out. Yeah, 55 is the answer when we add from 1 to the 10. Okay, so in the MATLAB you instead of just run the for loop and they automatically added it. Now we'll see the loop with step. Okay, so if I say that for I assign the I is equal to 0, then this is the step and this is the last, and then I say that display the I and end it here. Okay, now if I run this portion only, then you see what's happening. Okay, The answer is start from there. Okay, this is the answer of this loop with steps. So first it's display the 0, and then it's take the break. It's not display the 1, it's display the 2. Okay, because we want the shift on the 2. So in that way it's display 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. 3 number in the range. So this is the start. Okay, this is the step, how much step we want to be to go next, and then this is the last ended value. If I say that I make this step in that way 1, and again I run this section, so now you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the 10 the display, because we want each one shift you take. If I make it to 5, okay, so it's mean print 0 then 5 then again print 5 steps away. Okay, so it's just display 0, 5 and 10. Okay, so in that way the step is work. Now we see the while loop. While loop is a different instead of fixed count. It keep running as long as the condition is true. Okay, that is called the while loop. So now we run the first code which understand the while loop. So for the while loop, first of all we assign the one variable, and after that we write down the while, definitely for while loop. Then we say that n is less than and equal to 5. That is the condition which we write down here. And then we say that okay, display the n. Okay, then they display the n, and then we say that okay, add n plus 1. Okay, and semicolon here, and then we end it here. So now if we run this one, then we see what's happened here. So now that's our answer. So first of all he displayed the n1. Okay, and then the integration in the 1. First time n is 0, n is 1, and we added 1 here. So the second time which n is reached here, in the second time then it's 2, so they display the 2. That is the very important you say that expression, because otherwise not integration is happening. Maybe if I remove this one and again I run it, then you see it's just display 1 1, and they are not stopping because there is not pause. So we need to stop it because the condition is not where he said that okay, just be run that loop until you reach at a 5. Okay, so that condition is very important. Now you see this is the picture where I explaining the while loop. Okay, so while loop is like start. So first of all you need to assign any kind of variable, and then you need to be make the condition here, and then the loop is running in that way. They check it out. If it is true, then it's ended, loop is ended. If it's false, then it's move. It's true, then if that condition is true, then it's move below, and then they display the n, and then they run in this expression, and after that they again go there, they check it again, this condition is true, and again that loop is working. But if that condition is not true, our n is become greater or equal. Maybe when n is reached at 5, it's mean that equation is this 5 is not less but it's equal to 5. Okay, so that's mean for the 5 they run, but when they run for the 5, then this n becomes 6. So 6 is not less than, 6 is greater than 5. Okay, so that means that equation is that condition is false. When condition is false, they reach to the end, so our loop is ended. Okay, so in that way they are working. Maybe that equations, maybe that image give you the right understanding what's happening in the while loop. Okay, one question arises in our mind: when to use which one? So the answer is very simple. There is only simple rule. If you know exactly how many times your iteration, your loops are working, so use for. If you are not waiting for something to happen, use while. Okay, so that's the simple rule. Now we are at the if condition, that is called the decision loop. Okay, the if statement lets MATLAB choose what to do based on the condition. Okay, now I write down a very basic code for this one. So I assign I make the variable score, I assign the value 72, and then I write down the if condition. I say that score if right now I writing down the condition score is less than and equal to 90. Okay, so display the grade A. Okay, so you maybe understand what I am making. So this is the score of the one student, and this is the conditions which I writing down for displaying the grades. Okay, and then I say else if. Okay, so that's using for the second condition. If I only have the one condition, then I just be display the end here. Okay, if I have the more conditions, then I say that else if. It's mean if this condition is not working, then check this one. Okay, else if, for the else if I write down this score, it may be less than 75, then display the grade is 5. Okay, and again I make one more condition, else if condition. Score this time is 60. Okay, if I say that this is 60, then make the grade C. And again, if our score is less than okay, I make it like else. Okay, simple else display the grade fail. So it's mean our if the percentage is less than the score is less than 60, then it's display the C. Or if they don't have the score, then we display the fail. Okay, so that's very basic one. Okay, don't be think like that one, that's very basic one. And then I just be ended that loop. Okay, so loop is end. Now I simply run that section. Now our grade is C, so it's just display our grade is C. If I change the score up to, I say that 80, and again run this, now our grade is B. Okay, so in that way they are working. So I hope so you understand very well on that image. This is the else if or simple else. Okay, making a decision in a MATLAB, in that way they are making. Score is 72, then they checked the condition. If that condition is then they just be say that okay, the grade is A. Okay, so it's not checking the second condition if the first condition is verified. Okay, if first condition is not verified, then they move toward the second condition, they check it out. If it's fulfilled, then they display the grade B. Or if it's not verified, then they move toward the third condition, otherwise they just be stop here. Okay, so in that way they are working. So if is the first condition checked, if true, run this block. Else if check only if the previous was false. Okay, so you maybe understand very well what's mean of else if. Okay, and else run if all above conditions were false. Okay, so above all the conditions are false, then the else condition is running. Okay, otherwise it's not running. And end is always for closing the conditions. Okay, so I hope so you understand it very well. If I say that our score is 0 and run the condition, okay, and say that okay, your grade is fail. Now we see the break condition. Okay, what's the break condition? So this break condition is working in that way. We are using the for loop, and in the for loop we assign the I 1 to 10, and then we run the if loop. Okay, if loop, we say that if I is equal to 6, then the break. We stop this loop earlier than it's reached at the end, till the 10. Okay, and then I say that end. I ended the if loop. Okay, and after that I say that okay, display the I. So they are displaying the I, and then I end the for loop also. So how they work, we simply run that section. So now they display the 1, they display the 2, they display 3, they display 4, they display the 5. When they display the 5, then they reach at a 6. So when it reach at a 6, then this if loop is, their condition is verified, and they go into the body of that if loop, which is the break, and then our loop is breaked, and for loop is also not working because the break stop the loop completely the moment the I hit the 6. Output is only from 1 to 5. Okay, so there is the one more thing. So we also have one more thing which is called continue and skip this iteration. Okay, this is also one method. So if I say that if I is equal to 6 and I write down the continue instead of break, so other code is same, and I run that section. out this is the output for there we see 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 is not displayed because we say that when our I is equal to 6 then continue. It means forget about 6 and move toward this 7. So it's 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, so continue is working that way. I make some complex continue example for you. So if I say that mod I 2 is equal to 0, okay, so this is the condition which I make here. So the continuous skip even numbers, mode gives the remainder after division, and mode for 2 is 0, so it's skip. Output is only odd number. Okay, so I just run this section. So this is our output 1 3 5 7 and 9. Okay, so what's happening when this first iteration is come there? So it's 1, so 1 is there, and when we divide 1 with the 2, what's happening? So because mode give us the remainder after the division, if I say that 1 and 2 is equal to 0, so skip it. Okay, so you know that our remainder is always 0 when we have the even value here. When we have a 2, so our remainder is 0. When we have the 4, our remainder is 0. When we have a 6, our remainder is 0. So this continuous equation is used. So this continuous equation is used. It's mean they just be display the even values, because in the even the remainder is not equal to 0. So then the condition is not verified, they not reach on the continue, they display the I. So I hope so you understand this one. Now we put all together the things like we work previously, and now this is the example where we find all the numbers from 1 to 20 divisible by 3. Okay, so how we write down the code for this one? So first of all we make the for loop, and here we say that for I is equal to 1 to 20, because we know that we need the 20 iterations, because we need to find out the numbers which are divided by 3 from 1 to 20. So that way we use the for loop. If we don't know the how much iterations we needed, then we run on the condition, so we use a while loop. So for loop, and then we make the if, and again we run this function mode where we say that okay, our I with 3 and it's equal to 0. So we definitely know that when our the every number which is divided on a 3, its remainder is equal to 0. When it's equal to 0, then we just be print. Okay, we know this command in this previous lectures. Okay, so in the print we simply say that we need it divisible by 2. Okay, now so when it's equal to 0, then condition is verified, then they print that number with this string, and then we end it here, and again we end the for loop, and now this is the time for the run that section. Now he said that 3 is divisible by 3, is divisible by 3, 9 is divisible by 3, 12 is divisible by 3, 15 is divisible by 3, and 18 is divisible by 3. Okay, now this is the quick summary for what's a while if. So here your cheat sheet. So this is the for how many times you run this code, then while keep going until the condition is false, and then if make a decision. Okay, all three always close with the end. You can nest them inside each other. A for loop inside a if, a while inside a for. That is the combination is the function of all real MATLAB programs. Okay, that is the part 4 completely. Loop and logics done. In the part 5 we use everything we were learned to plot graph and visualize the data. That is the honestly one of the best part of the MATLAB. Link in the description. Like and subscribe if this helped. See you in the part 5.